Investors Salvage Workshop. So here's the thing, it is always advised after every 350,000 kilometers you do, an engine lifespan is advised to be 350,000 kilometers. So it is always advised if you are almost hitting the 350,000 kilometers or even less, you do a complete total overhaul of the engine. So let me show you something. Like for instance, if you look at this engine, so this is an engine I'm doing a complete total overhaul. So what I'm focusing on are the pistons. You can see the pistons. The pistons are suited, so I'll get out all these suits. Number two, I'll focus on my head gaskets. So you'll notice something. So there are some places which look rusty. So these are the places. So I'll have to replace these gaskets. Another thing, I'll go to my cylinder head. So here is my cylinder head. So at the cylinder head, you'll notice one thing. So here are the valves. So we've got both the inlets and the outlet valves. So you look at the valves, you make sure they are okay. So as for instance, if you look at this engine, this shows it was burning properly according to spec, according to how the engine was designed. So the thing is, if you look at these valves, they comes with the stem. So the valve stem, I'll have to change the valve stem seals. So let me show you something on the. So here are the camshafts. So I look at my camshafts. I make sure that even the lifters, here the lifters are okay. Another thing, I'll look at the valves to make sure the valve stem seals are okay. I look at my chain. So one thing with these chains, with a period of time, they prolong. So I'll have to make sure they are okay. Another thing, I'll go to my block. So this is where the pistons are. So what I'll do, I'll flip this engine. So let me flip this engine. Yeah, so looking at the engine, so this is the crankshaft pulley. So the crankshaft pulley comes with bearings. We've got the main bearings and the cone bearings, the one attached to the pistons. So the thing is, I'm going to take out the pistons and I supervise on the bearings to make sure they are okay. So that's what I'm going to do as at now. So with me here, I have plenty of tools to use at my disposal. So let me begin taking out the so now the pistons are clean. So as you can see, I have managed to clean the pistons. They look, yeah, so that's how we wake up in Africa. So the pistons are clean. If you can look keenly, looks nice, looks new. So let me try and zoom in. So there you go. Look very clean, all the 4 pistons. So what I'm trying to look while doing the overhaul or this overhauling this engine is, after looking at the pistons, I look at the cone bearings too. So there you go. So you'll notice one thing. If you look keenly, you'll look at an indication of them wearing out. So I'll have to change these two. Another thing, I'll have to change both the rings, the ones which are controlling the oil and holding the compression. I'll have them changed. Another thing, I'll have to take so this is the block. So this is a shell of a block that I have managed to take each and everything out. If you look at the walls of the chamber, yeah, where look at the walls, they look good, they look nice. Another thing, my crankshaft. So I'll have my crankshaft polished. Yeah, so there you go, I'll have it polished. So when I talk of polishing, they'll have to do some measurements to determine if it is symmetrical, so all these spots. So that's what I'm looking at doing. Another thing, I'll have my belts changed, both my timing and serpentine belt or fan belt changed. So these are some of the things that I'm trying to do before or after hitting that 350k mark. So nothing much, nothing more. I'll have all these washed, I'll have everything done. Yeah, so I'll replace the seals, the gaskets,
yeah, and everything. So until then, let us begin assembling back this engine.